Hi, I'm Christy Turner with DementiaSherpa.com, and I am your Dementia Sherpa guiding you through rough terrain. I am scoping on Periscope and also at the same time on Facebook Live, so thank you so much for coming in. I appreciate it. Trying to balance two cameras here at one time and hope that it's going to work out. So we'll see. Hopefully nothing falls. So again, I'm Christy Turner with DementiaSherpa.com, and I'm your Dementia Sherpa guiding you through rough terrain. Hi, thank you for coming in. And today, I was listening to some other great scopers, Cynthia Bazin, if you have not heard. Oh, thank you for the hearts, Rachel. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate it. So if you are not already following Cynthia Bazin on Periscope, she's at the Smart Chick. She's awesome. And so some of the things that she's been saying over the last few scopes of hers that I've watched really inspired me. And then also a client that I've been working with also inspired me. And so I just had a conversation with him. Oh, thank you so much, Rachel. I appreciate that. So my question is, are the things that you're doing, are they consistent with what you're actually trying to accomplish? And that might seem like, oh, that's kind of a weird topic for dementia, but hear me out. Let me explain. So if we are trying to have a good day, which of course I'm assuming that's exactly what we're trying to do. So if we're trying to have a good day with our loved one, if they live with us, then oh, hi Turner, thanks for coming in. I appreciate it. We need to be really consistent in what we're doing so that we are getting to the goal that we want. So for example, and I was just talking to a client about this. She is trying to get her husband to go to the doctor, right? He has a doctor appointment that's coming up. And of course, that was a big deal that I talked about last week on Thursday. How do you get someone to go to the doctor? Well, we have to figure out, what do we want? Thank you for inviting followers, Turner Dizzy. I really appreciate it. So if we want someone to go to the doctor's office, that's great, but we have to make sure that our actions are consistent with making that happen. So the example that I just gave her to use, with her husband and help her think about it. Hi, Tamisha, thanks for coming in. Is if that's the goal, you want to get your loved one to the doctor appointment, you're not going to go wake him up and say, hey, you need to get up because it's time for your doctor appointment, right? I mean, who wants to do that? It doesn't matter whether you have dementia or not. Like, that doesn't seem like a lot of fun. Hi. So think about, like, if this was me, would this be a good idea? Or like when your kids were little, would you have told your child, like, you need to get out of bed because it's time to go to the doctor's appointment? That's not going to work, right? We're all human, and some things sound appealing and some things really don't sound appealing. So think about that and use that to your benefit. Like, it's just really with anything that you're trying to accomplish. And I do think for most care partners, what we're trying to do is get through the day successfully. And success can look different for everyone, but we want it to be, a positive experience. And we do that by approaching every interaction always with respect, kindness, and love, right? Does that make sense? That should be like really resonating, I hope, where you're going, well, yeah, of course, everybody likes to be treated that way. Everybody likes to be approached that way. That absolutely makes sense. So we're not going to preview something scary. Thank you. Okay, so Turner Dizzy is with me. Yes, total sense. So if it's something scary, we don't want to get somebody so anxious about it that they're going, no way. Right? That's just not going to do anything for us except make a bigger problem. Because let's say it is going to the doctor appointment. That's our goal for the day. So we have that goal. And then if we've done anything to make somebody anxious, now we have two things. Because we need to get them to the doctor appointment, number one. And number two, we've got to deal with the anxiety on top of that. So we're making it harder for our loved one, yes, but we're also making it harder for ourselves. Because now we've got two kind of hot messes to deal with. And I always say, you know what? Dementia is hard enough. The disease process itself is hard enough. You don't need any added extra layers of difficulty. You need to know what works, what's the easiest way to do it, and then go, yeah, okay, I'll do it that way, right? We're not trying to make extra work for ourselves. This is hard enough already. So think about that and then try and make sure that your actions are really consistent with that. So in general, the more cool and groovy energy we're bringing into the situation, the better off everybody's going to be, because energy is contagious. So if, like, think about your best friend. You love to hang out with your best friend because your best friend is fun, loves you for who you are. You can pretty much do no wrong, right? I mean, if she's a good friend, she'll call you out when you're full of it. But other than that, you like how you feel. You have fun. It's a good time. So that energy is contagious, right? When you're stuck at Thanksgiving dinner next to Uncle Crazy Pants, that energy is contagious too. You don't want to be there. You don't want to be listening to that guy. You don't want to be dealing with it. If you have to sit next to him long enough, you're going to feel like, I need a shower to get this goo off of me, right? So just remember that when you are interacting with your loved one, they're really feeding off your energy, because as the disease is progressing, that intellectual piece is receding and the emotional center is really what's coming first and foremost, right? That's really how we're connecting with our loved ones. So you want to make sure that you're bringing the good stuff. And if that means you need to count to 10, count to 10. If it means you need to count to 10,000, count to 10,000. You got to do what works. You want to make sure that your actions are consistent. So, excuse me. Like any other day where I'm scoping, I am more than happy to answer questions. Be the calm and balance for them. Absolutely, Turner Dizzy. Absolutely. And what is your name? Of course, I want to call you Turner because my last name's Turner, and so I'm just like remembering it. But what's your actual name? We want to be we are the example. Victoria, thank you. I will make a note to remember that. I really appreciate you coming in. So if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer questions. As a refresh, I'm Christy Turner with DementiaSherpa.com. I'm your Dementia Sherpa, guiding you through rough terrain, because dementia is rough terrain. And you don't want to try and do that on your own, because it's scary, it's hard, and you need all the shortcuts and tips and tricks and tools and information and techniques that you can get, right? That's what I think. I've worked with 1,045 people living with dementia and their families at this point professionally, and then I've had 7 personal experiences, 5 grandparents, and then 2 people that I served as guardian for, which I kind of call elder adoption because they became part of my family. So that's where I'm coming from. Always happy to help and answer questions. You can reach out to me anytime. I'm on all the social media at Dementia Sherpa, and I will be doing a special scope on Thursday at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern, and 9 p.m. British summertime for talking about what my blog post was this week about the loss of independence and what we can do. The statistics for all people as they age is outrageous. Are there specific statistics you're talking about, Victoria, like with loss of independence, or just kind of what happens, or give me more information. Let's continue the conversation. So the special scope on Thursday will be at 1 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. British summertime, and that is talking about the loss of independence. And I put up a kind of a lengthier blog post than I usually do on my website, so that's DementiaSherpa.com, and that is about how people lose independence, and then what can we do, and how can we figure out how much independence they've lost, and what's safe, and all of that kind of good stuff. Okay, so meaning the amount of people that can get many types of dementia or have family that does. Yeah, Victoria, the number one risk factor for developing dementia is age. So now we have all of these great pills and right medical treatments that allow people to live longer, which sounds great, but sometimes the reward for living that long ends up being that people develop dementia, which obviously nobody wants. But that is the number one risk factor, and we see it more and more. I hope that the silver lining in that is that, yeah, Tamisha, is that we are becoming so much more aware of it and are understanding more and more about what things that we can do to reduce our chances. And I don't mean die early by that, but I mean, just kind of some things you can do, like the number one thing being sleep. Sleep, 7 to 9 hours a night. That's the number one thing you can do, because that's like your brain is repairing itself when you're sleeping. So those people that say, I only sleep 3 hours a night and I'm fine, are fibbing. It's not good. So that's one thing you can do. Another thing is to be social, because that keeps your brain engaged, and using your words actually is a good thing, whether, your husband thinks so or not. It is a good thing. And fish oil is another good thing. Doing something that you enjoy is a good thing. Concentrating for 15 minutes a day. So yeah, tell your husband that, Rachel. Like, talking, using all my words, it's a good thing. So there are lots of different things you can do to reduce your chances. So don't worry if you're happen to be watching this and you're 84 going, oh no. No, it's okay. There are lots of good things that you can do to reduce your chances of developing dementia. Yes, eat good nutrition as well. I personally am not a fish fan. I am not a seafood fan at all. The smell, I'm just like, no. But if you're like me, you can take fish oil and still benefit from that. So you don't have to. But if you do eat fish, let's say 3 times a week, and obviously we're going for fish without the mercury, but if you do that, that's another really good thing you can do to help protect your brain. And Sudoku. Yeah. Thank you, Tamisha. I feel validated. Hate the smell of the sea. I like the ocean, but just the actually what lives in it, not so much. So again, today's topic is, I can't remember the question I wrote exactly, but basically make sure that your actions are consistent with the result you're trying to get. So if you are taking care of your loved one who's living with dementia in your own home, you want to make sure you're bringing the cool and groovy energy, not a bunch of anxiety, because you want to get through the day having a good experience. An example I gave is somebody I'm working with right now, one of my private clients, of the goal is for her to get her husband to go to the doctor, and she's very anxious about it, which is going to make it worse. And on top of that, she's like, well, what if this happens? What if that happens? But I'm like, don't start there, and don't start with, hey, it's time for you to get out of bed so you can go to the doctor's appointment, because nobody likes that. So don't do that. Let's go for what works. The disease process is hard enough. So I am Christy Turner. I'm your Dementia Sherpa, guiding you through rough terrain. You can find me at dementiasherpa.com. And thank you so much for joining me today. I'll be back here on Periscope and Facebook Live at 3:30 Pacific Time, 6:30 Eastern Time, and way too late for anybody in the UK tomorrow. Special scope on Thursday at 1 p.m. Pacific Time, 3 p.m. 4 p.m. Eastern Time, and 9 p.m. British Summer Time. Till then, have a wonderful rest of your day.